November 11th, 2021, we are here for solidarity for people in Fukushima. We are here to hopefully shut down all nukes and all over the world. That nuclear power plant and nuclear industry that cause so many horror in this planet, and we're concerned about that negative effect, negative impact that nuclear industry causes in this planet.
ご苦労様です。Thank you very much for coming and attending this monthly rally. So we are totally against the nuclear weapons and nuclear power plant. And as you know that end of October, Japan had a lower house election. The result of the ending is totally disappointed. That governing Liberal Democratic Party and the Allies Party took over the majority seat. And then Ishin no Kai, which is very right-wing party, increased almost 4 times seat, up to 41 seat. Yeah. That means it's very easy to change the constitution of a precious Article 9. We are deep trouble. Even the Constitution 96, which is requires still to bring up the article to 2/3 approval, they are trying to change only for the over 50%. That way, governing party always change the way they want. That is very trouble. And then this month, very early month, actually, started for the higher court appeal for the 3 former executive TEPCO. Those negligent for the homicide. They had a lower court not guilty verdict to turn over. The higher court started early this month, but again, these 3 executives are pleaded not guilty. This negligence is a death of over 40 people who were in hospital and treatment because for the transferring them, they passed away, and then 13 people who are injured because of the explosion of the Fukushima Daiichi plant. This TEPCO always desiring to open the Kashiwazaki-Kariwa nuclear power plant in Niigata. Even they cannot really contain, they cannot pass it, and then can't do for the decommission of the Fukushima Daiichi. They try to open next power plant. There are so many mismanagement for the security against the terrorists, and then mismanagement of the all equipment. TEPCO surely not qualified to operate any power plant. Again, I want to emphasize this nuclear power plant is really dangerous, and then taking all livelihood from people. People lost their hometown forever. some people never can go back there. So we know how it's dangerous and how this nuclear power plant is expensive, but Japan never give up. And Japan never signed the ban treaty of the nuclear weapons. Japan really obsessed to hold plutonium in their hand. Those are threatening for the neighboring country. Especially this time, the tension and conflict is increasing between Japan and China, and between USA and China and Russia. This time, I heard that China is increasing their warhead to 6,000 in the 2030 and more than like 10,000 by the next 30, by more than 1,000 by 2030. So it is very dangerous and then risking time that Japan should not be involved for any conflict, any war, and then totally we should protect our constitution, Article 9, to not resolve the conflict between the country by military power. And TEPCO and Japanese government try to releasing the contaminated water from the 2023 spring. Many people and fishermen and even farmers oppose, and neighboring country too. Japan, we don't know how to dispose, how to take care of the radioactive material, waste material, spent fuel. And now they said the decontamination, they just take the radioactive material here, just spot to there. Now they don't know what to do. They try to spread those materials to the nationwide for the construction. And then they like to just dispose the contaminated water into the ocean to make world situation worse. So we are here totally against the nuclear power plant. Even the government try to restart more reactor, and this, for example, like Ishin no Kai, they said phasing the existence power plant, but they want to make a small nuclear power plant. Some people in USA also are suggesting to, small nuclear power plant is much safe, but it is not, which is a problem from mining the uranium. And then really we don't know where to put these radioactive waste. So I totally oppose even small reactors. So we are here support the Fukushima victims and they are against for the nuclear power plant. Steve Delta,
which is led ably by Chizu, and we do need a nuclear-free world. And the lies that are being told about Fukushima and about nuclear plants, they endanger not only us but future generations. So I hope that the governments, not only of Japan, but India and rest of the world, listen to the very real dangers. And again, I'm very proud to be here. And the dedication of this group, this is the 96th meeting. And we all think of Fukushima, from where a lot of radiation is leaking into the Pacific Ocean, and the media is not reporting it. Victory to everything that the No Nuke Committee stands for. Thank you.
My name is Nancy Delaney, and I have many concerns about the effects of radiation during our lifetimes and the future lifetimes, because a half-life is 250,000 years, and we in this time have been treating it so casually. We take for granted the fact that our bodies are together the way that they are, and that because we can't see that radiation, that it's not there or it's not affecting us. Now, I myself have had cancer 4 times now, and each time I've been lucky to have survived, and I'm now living so that I can say something about it. But I don't know if my exposure when my father was studying the radioactivity in tunicates, a little sea creature, that he was studying to see if the bombs that the U.S. left on the Japanese people and on the environment there, if it had come across the ocean and got into the tunicates, or if somehow they were making their own radiation, which I don't know how they could be doing that, but they had radiation in them, and he was studying that. And he sometimes I went with him, and I don't know if some of the cancers I've had are the long-term effects, because that's often how the cancers work with the radiation. It doesn't happen right away. It takes its own time. But the problem is that in this commercial culture that we have all around the world now, people are thinking about their bank accounts. They're thinking about their corporate control. They're not thinking about the effect on the human beings, on the animals, on the plants, on the future generations. Like, all of our children all around the world are being threatened by the radiation and the bombs and the nuclear power plants and the mining in uranium mines that are happening in different parts of the world and have been happening during our lifetimes. And I'm very concerned about it, because it's just business as usual, and it just gets worse and worse. And my concern is, like with Fukushima, is that the Japanese people were sold on the idea of having power plants, but then when it overheated, that nuclear water has been going into the Pacific Ocean, and that was traced over here also to this continent. Up north, they were able to see it in the water, and which means that all the animals in the ocean can be contaminated. And I'm concerned for the Japanese people who are eating their fish over there. And where are they going to be getting fish that's not being radiated by the water there? And why is the government there not talking about it? Why isn't every government not talking about it and trying to figure out how the Japanese people could eat without radiation in the fish? And so I'm just really concerned about it. I think that the nuclear... Oh, one more thing. Just out at Glasgow now, this guy George Mamios, I thought, oh, he sounds like he knows a lot. And then he was asked about whether or not he would agree to there being some nuclear power plants if that's the only way that we could close all the coal. And he said, well, he thought if it was moderated nuclear power plants, he could agree to it. And so even he, who's been looking so hard at the effects on the future generations, he's even saying that's okay. And we really need to get everybody to think about this, because the cancers are going to keep growing, and the mutations are going to continue, and there won't be any air or water or soil or plants or animals or humans without the radiation in them, and we have to stop it.
Steve Delger?
Thank you. It's important that we're here today to warn the people of the United States and the world that the danger of Fukushima still continues to exist. It hasn't gone away. I mean, you would not know that from the corporate media in the United States, that the plant is still leaking and that they plan to release over 1 million tons of radioactive water, tritium, into the Pacific Ocean. So we are demanding that they not release the radioactive water. We're demanding that they not attack the residents who were involved in the Fukushima, because they're cutting off the benefits to them, the health benefits. This government, while they're expending while they're expending more money for the military in Japan, billions of dollars more money for military in Japan, they say that they can't take care of the survivors of Fukushima. That's an outrage. And this government as well is expanding the military budget. And we're here also to oppose militarization of Asia, which the United States is pushing, and the new Prime Minister, the Liberal Democrats, and the new right wing in Japan, the old right wing. I saw that Abe now is going to lead a faction in the LDP. He never went away, even though he was forced to quit because of the corruption of him and his party and his wife. So we have to continue to raise our voices, and people are listening, and it's the situation in the United States is another example. They can't pass a budget to help people in this country, but they do have enough for $750 billion for the military in this country. They have a unified agreement, the Democrats and Republicans, to continue militarization of this country. And that is a crime, because at this point, people are being charged in COVID. In the middle of a COVID pandemic, people are being charged for tests. In fact, they don't even have a protocol for testing of COVID in this country, mass testing. So where are our money going? Where is the wealth going? It's certainly not going for the people of the United States and the people of Japan. And we're protesting the government. We're demanding that this government really be held responsible for the crimes that are going on. Like the U.S. government, they continue to spend money on war. They continue to deport immigrants, migrants who come to this country as a result of U.S. wars in Central America and around the world. So this is an international movement. Our voices are going to be heard. We're not going away. And we have to build solidarity. We have to break the information blockade. And that's why we're here today. And solidarity, shut down the nukes.
Hi, it's me again. We are here because we are anti-nuke and anti-war, and then me personally anti-capitalism, and nuclear industry, just the same as the fossil fuel industry that destroy all over the world, and poor people, the vulnerable population's life, and exploitation and racism. And just like Du Bois and Malcolm X said, racism exists under capitalism, and I really think that's true. And nuclear industry is the reflection of capitalism society that we are here right now. And we just we are 99% of people that we are never told how to play this capitalism game, that we don't know how to play, so we are designed to lose in this world. That's why we always suffer, and there is so many suffering in this world. And I'm just tired to look at all the sadness around this world. And I think we need to learn how not participate this game, that game we never told how to play, and we never know how to play this game, and the capitalism keep including us to this game that we don't know how to play, and we always lose, and we are just designed to be loser in this capitalism society that we live under. And I just want to say that we can learn how to refuse, don't participate this game, and that's why I'm here, for solidarity for people in Fukushima in Japan. And Fukushima is still there, the power plant is still there, the contamination is still there, and waste product is still there, and we don't know what to do, and government don't know what to do, TEPCO don't know what to do, and we just have to keep living like this. And then we just and then now green, like how to say, things that they're talking about lithium, and I'm really concerned about it's going to be the same game. I mean, we can have renewable energy, but still same kind of game that the capitalism playing, except that it's not using fossil fuel industry. There's a different new industry coming up, but still same blueprint that the capitalism is playing, and we don't know how to play this game. So we just have to create our own society and try to dismantle this society that is based on racism, unfairness, and only 1% of people, they are benefiting. Just like banking system, that every dollar we see this world, there is somebody's debt. And we are just a hamster on a wheel. We are chasing dollar sign that we never grab. We can never pay off the debt because every money, dollar sign, is debt, and we have no money to pay off. And then, we just have to realize that and get off the wheel, and then just to be a free hamster that we can enjoy our life, Anyway, so that's why we're here, and I just hope that nuclear industry is gonna end, or maybe they stop mining uranium or any mining industry that cause a lot of toxic in this environment. And then thank you for listening, and we're here next month.
So here's a sign that I just got here from a climate march on Embarcadero in conjunction with the COP Out 26 in Glasgow, where Greta Thunberg is talking blah blah blah. The leaders are saying that they want to go green, but they're bullshitting like usual. So what's the connection to Japan? So Japan they're talking out both sides of their mouth, saying they're going to do things to improve the environment. So what do? They want to dump I don't know, thousands, millions of gallons of radioactive water into the ocean. Oh, that's really going to help a lot. So anyway, Japan, they're just a part of the same, the leaders of just about every country are just captured by capitalism, and they're destroying the world, and we're out here fighting for the ongoing disaster to the people of Japan with Fukushima. And I've said this before, but I lived in Sendai when I was really young, so it's really sad to see what that's like. And so anyway, no nukes.
So I did, thanks, Dwight. We face an international system. That's how capitalism operates. I mean, the wars, they make profit on wars all over the world and militarization. One of the things I wanted to announce today is there's a program, Muslim and Arab Studies, Ethnicities, and Diasporas at San Francisco State, led by a Palestinian-American professor, Rabab Abdul-Hadi. And her program has been attacked by the Zionists. Now, the Israeli government has been involved in propagating atomic weapons and around the world. They have, nuclear bombs, and the United States is attacking Iran for developing nuclear an industry, but Israel has one. I guess Israel's exceptional. They have the right to do that. In any event, the program at San Francisco State in the Department of Ethnic Studies has been under attack. They want to shut it down. In fact, her classes were censored, shut down by Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. So we talk about democracy, but they shut down the program. So the president of the university has gone along with the Zionists, and there's going to be a rally, a speak out, this coming Wednesday at 11 a.m. at San Francisco State on the Quad. And we're asking people to speak out against the attack on her program, to demand full funding. The Palestinian people have been the victims of imperialism, like many other people around the world. Occupation of the land and support by the United States. The United States supports the military expansion of Israel. We give them weapons. In fact, they were going to spend $3 billion for the Iron Dome to rearm Israel after they murdered people, after they bombed people. It's like a ghetto there, the Gaza, where they shoot at people, they shoot at journalists, journalists, they shoot at people and kill them with our weapons, with our support. So we have to protest that. We have to defend the program at San Francisco State. This is an international struggle, and we have to build solidarity with people from around the world. It's not just a Japanese issue, it's not just an American issue, it's a working class issue, a global issue of people throughout the world. So what we have to do is stop this. I mean, nuclear expansion, nuclear power, the effort in the United States of the Biden government to have good nuclear plants, small nuclear plants, is insanity. Why would we build small nuclear plants? Is that going to benefit the people of the world? There's no place to put the nuclear waste right now at San Luis Obispo and the rest of these over 100 plants, nuclear plants in the United States that are contaminated, and there's no place to put the waste. So what we're saying is we have to stand up, we have to fight expansion of nuclear power, we have to defend the people who are fighting against it around the world. Thank you, brothers and sisters.